Hi, I'm Hannah, and I am Hannah.the reading teacher on Instagram. And we help children, struggling readers from 5 to 12, increase their reading fluency and their comprehension. And yeah, I'm a small business. Now have 8 tutors working for me, and I've been working with Carly for the last 9 months, would we say?
11.
11. Whoa.
11. Yeah, we're almost a year. Okay.
Okay.
So tell us where the business was at 12, 11 months ago before we connected.
Okay. So I started the business just over a year ago, and was really excited to start. It started with just an idea that I had that I would give it a go, even if I could just get some extra cash. Before I didn't want to go back into school because of my 2 children. I didn't want to have that lack of work-life balance, and nothing was inspiring me out there either, and lots of other reasons. So I thought I'm going to give tutoring a go because the pressure was starting to build for me being able to bring some money in. My little boy was 10 months old, and what started as I'm going to give tutoring a go soon became me like, actually, I now really want to do this. So I'm now going to set up my own business and really go sort of hell for leather on promoting it. And I did all the things that you would want to do to promote your business. So I set up a website, and I made it look pretty, and I used AI to help me write the copy, and spent hours building my website, and I had pictures taken for my website, which I absolutely detest those photos, by the way. Um, Poor lady that took them. It's not her fault. She was a good photographer. Yeah, I had photos taken, and came up with some really used Canva. I'm like literally like a walking cliche. I got on Canva and I spent hours creating stuff on there. I then did like an opening reel, so an introductory reel, which actually I think was pretty good, but it just um, there was nothing wrong with what I'd created, or like the graphics or the branding or anything like that, but it was just not what I needed to do. It wasn't what the focus should have been on. Um, and yeah, set it all up, did what you'd normally do, like launch my Instagram page, sent it to everyone I know, circulated leaflets, went on Facebook pages, did all of that for maybe like a month, 6 weeks. And I had 2 students, maybe three, but two of them were twins, like a friend of a friend, or um, who needed tuition for her children. Um, Anyone that I spoke to locally was like, "Oh, well, yeah, we do know someone who does that. Do you come to our house?" And that's not what I wanted to do. Or can we come to you? So it was all like face-to-face work. Um, yeah, that's where I was.
Your monthly revenue at that point was 160 pounds per month.
Yeah, yeah, it was low.
Okay, so we started working together in February of 2025. What did we change in the business?
Okay, so straight away put in an ad, ran the ad, created the ad, ran the ad, put in a DM strategy, put in a sales call strategy, put in just a sales strategy, which I had no idea about before, um, and sort of sales psychology a little bit as well in that strategy, and also how I approached Instagram and what I spent my time on. So I didn't spend my time making jazzy Canva graphics. I spent my time on thinking about my sales process.
Anything specific about the sales process that you want to share?
Yeah, so I suppose at first, um, it was the ad, and it was how the ad was structured, which was new to me, and like the type of language that was used in the ad and so on. Um, and then what you did as a result of the ad for people coming in. So things like looking at what your call to action should be for the ad and why, and what do you then do with that call to action? How do you approach people who then follow you? What should the follow up system be for that? Um, yeah, I mean, how much detail do you want me to go into? Because obviously I could go into so much detail, but I don't.
Anything that like surprised you, I guess. Like, I never would have thought of this or those
I
kind of
think
things.
I never thought about DMing people ever. I'd never thought about like doing that. Don't know why. It now seems really obvious. Um, and I suppose not only just DMing people, but having a structure to what you're saying. And then the other thing I'd never thought about doing, which again, I don't know why, because now it seems obvious, is doing sales calls. Yes, I'd thought about getting on a call with parents on the phone and maybe having a chat with them if they wanted to go through like times and days, but I'd never thought about a more formalized sales call structure. And I really didn't realize how integral and important that was going to be for everything. So I know there are lots of sales funnels that don't use sales calls. I now, for my business as it stands at the moment and the clients that we've got, I now for that specific offer just would not change that. I wouldn't change the sales call. I think that changed everything because parents just are set up so nicely. Then when they start working with you, they can see you, they talk to you, build that rapport with them. You discuss options. It just I feel like it sets the whole thing up moving forward.
Yes. Yes. It's like, it's such a trust building thing because people are not going to be like, here, have access to my kid through
Yeah,
clicking a button on your website.
yeah. And also just I suppose I'd say I'm quite like a ballsy person anyway. Um, but I didn't know what I was doing with it. So the fact that because I think sometimes you're sort of thinking, well, am I being too salesy? Am I not being salesy enough? But the fact that you gave us things that we could say in a way that we could say it and told us what to do almost, obviously you've got to use your own initiative. It gave me the confidence to give it a go, whereas I probably wouldn't have just done it. I wouldn't have done it before, but because you were there saying like this works, then I was like, well, I'm just going to do it then. Um, and I think back to those first few sales calls, I remember like quaking in my boots, like at the chair and having to like looking like all calm on the front, but underneath being, oh my God, we have to ask them for the money. Oh my God, this is terrifying. Um, and now I just don't even bat an eyelid. I'm like, well, this is a business. If you want our help, this is what it costs. You don't want to pay it, like goodbye in the nicest possible way.
Mhm. Love it. Cool. Anything else you want to mention in terms of things that we tweaked or changed?
It's really hard because we changed everything. So we changed like my Instagram bio, I changed my profile picture, I changed my username, I changed all of the content I was putting out. Everything. I literally changed everything. The only thing that I didn't change is what the niche was, who I was, my knowledge. So actually what I'm delivering and the business itself is still how I imagined it. It was better than how I imagined it, but it's built on what I imagined. So that side of it isn't different. It's not like I was like, oh, none of what I thought was going to work isn't going to work because it all works really well. Um, but the whole marketing strategy changed everything. So it's hard to be really specific about this one thing because I changed it all.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into the tangible results. So, my favorite, I'm going to kick off with speaking of adding sales calls and, being committed to that process. You have 100% close rate at the moment. You've closed your last 13 calls.
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
that feel?
Yeah, good. Strange. I didn't realize it had happened, did I, until I sort of reflected on it the other day. But actually, I've just done I would say that is not because if anyone's watching this and they're thinking, well, that's fine because she seems really confident and like she knows what she's doing, was that is not it. It is literally because I could not tell you how many sales calls I've got on in the last year. I could not tell you how many I've had. I've had hundreds. So actually, the fact that we've currently got, I think, 75 students enrolled with us, and I definitely didn't always have that close rate. I must have been on hundreds of sales calls. So it's just the practice. And I now know sort of like the different tips of when I'm talking to people, what their thoughts are, where to stop, where to ask questions, where to not say anything. Um, how to pitch to certain you know, you get on a call with someone and some people are just completely different to others, right? So um I've just learned all of those sort of nuances of different sales calls and how they go. And I don't think I'm a really like salesy person at all. Because I think that's people's initial thoughts when they think of sales as a salesperson. I'm not swinging people like telling lies on the call or making things up. It's just a process that I've followed, um, and it helps me as well as them. And I think that's why they work out well because I do the sales call. I would say even for me more than for them, so that I know who they are, what they're about, what they need, and how I can best serve them. And I think that's why they end up doing so well.
100%. Okay. So in January, what is the month to date revenue?
It is £15,013.
And what's the ad spend so far?
The ad spend is 245.95, £245.95 because I've increased my ads this month because I have got new tutors starting. So I wanted to get in some new clients quickly to try and fill them up quickly. So I wouldn't normally spend that in an average month. That's sort of double what I would normally spend, more than double.
So we obviously we know that the January revenue is um, not all new clients. You have recurring clients, so they've
Yeah.
maybe come in 6 months ago, but they're still paying you. Um, Off the top of your head, how long does a student typically stay with you for?
Um, it's hard to say because obviously we've not actually been in business that long. So I would say an easier question to answer is typically how many students have left because we actually haven't had tons of students leave. So actually, I'd say so many of our students haven't left, if that makes sense. Anyone who comes into our signature program doing the reading fluency formula, um, I think two of those children have left in the last year, and both of them were because of like really reasonable things, you know, nothing that we'd sort of. I think we've got a place for everyone to go. So I don't know. I can't really answer that because so many people joined and then haven't left. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So the lifetime value of your students is in the thousands of pounds range.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So if someone joins us for our like intensive program, there's somewhere always for them to go. Um, one student, well, two students that I'm working with myself are one-to-ones, and they've been on that program for nearly a year now, both of them, because they need it. So they're continuing, whereas most other students will sort of like graduate from that program and go somewhere else in within our business.
Amazing. So this is a year of building. But if we zoom in and we just look at January and we compare your cash collected to your ad spend, your ROAS, your return on ad spend, is 61 to 1. So for
Yeah.
every dollar that you've spent on ads this month, you've collected 61 in cash. Every pound spent is 61
Yeah.
pounds collected. And the revenue is even higher than that because those kids that came in from the ad this month are going to continue to pay month after month until they hit their goals or they create new goals and move into some kind of an ascension offer like a book club or comprehension group.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not through January, right? So it's only the 15th of Jan as well. So I know that I've got seven, I think I've got seven sales calls booked in next week. Um, so yeah, there will be more to come this month.
So good. Okay. So you increased your ad budget from £5 per day to £15 per day. Um, talk a little bit about like how does it feel to have that kind of control where you can just be like, oh, we need more kids. I'm going to triple the ad spend, like as a
Yeah, it's
business
good.
owner. Hmm.
Yeah, it's good because otherwise it's January, it could be quiet. I know sort of January it can be really busy because it's a new year, parents have got Christmas out of the way, and then they're like, oh, we now need to do something about that. Our child struggling with reading, but also people are broke in January. So actually, it's really nice to have something tangible that you can just do where you can say, well, if I put this up, I'm going to get more leads coming in. And we definitely have had more leads coming in because of it.
So good. Like I know you never had this issue, but a lot of people who join the program come from platforms where they used to have regular lead flow and then it just stops. And they're like, there's nothing I can do. I don't know why this happened. It's not my business. I have no control. Um, so the fact that you can turn it up and down as needed is such a great tangible result too. Okay, let's talk about your group offers and how they pay out and how you put your time into those.
So my group offers for students or the group offer for parents.
Students. We can get into the parent one after though, if you want to.
Okay, so my group offers for students, we have, yeah, sort of like reading groups for children who aren't really struggling, although sometimes they are at the lower end, but it depends if we find a match to go with them or not. Um, so yeah, they are either 45 minutes or 60-minute groups. And the way that they work and the way that we've managed to build them is that people tend to graduate from our more intensive program to move into them, which it comes with sort of two benefits. The first one is that you already know them really well. And actually, you can then place people together really nicely. So it works rather than a lot of sort of tutoring businesses out there are putting just, they're like, oh yeah, we've got a Tuesday year 3 group, go in there, but the children might not fit in there. So actually it means that we're retaining customers because they're the right fit for those groups and we know them really well. It also means we're keeping them on, and it means that it's cheaper for parents but more profitable for us. So for a 45-minute session, one if our groups are a maximum of 6 children for a 45-minute session, that means the tutor will take 85.50 home, which is good because it means I'm paying my tutor a decent wage that they deserve. Um, and I take home £70, £70 and 20 pence.
And it takes 0 minutes of your time to fulfill on.
Yeah, I mean, initially you have to spend time setting those up. I do the sales, my sales calls are free. Um, and I spend time doing timetabling and talking to parents. Like there is stuff that goes on in the background. I don't want to lie and say, oh yeah, it's just, you know, whatever. But for example, today, I had 2 sales calls booked in today, and then I was going to do bits and bobs of admin in between. Um, Actually only had one tuition session today myself. But both my sales calls cancelled. They've rescheduled for another time. Um, so we had tons of tuition going on today, but none of it was led by. So I didn't actually, for once, I was at a bit of a loose end, which is nice.
Yeah,
Obviously, I did stuff, but there was
there's
nothing urgent that had to be done right there and then.
always stuff to do though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so with um all of that back end stuff where you are taking calls and running ads and paying for the software to do the timetabling and all of that stuff, what are the expenses like in the business?
So my expenses for Jan are 1,457, and that is including my VA.
So not including the tutors.
No, no.
Okay, so that's like the software, your virtual assistant, your ads, and
Yeah.
then the contractors are paid um, out of, you know, what's the word? Commission. They're paid a commission out of the classes that they teach.
Hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, knowing what you know now, with deep understanding of the earning potential, what would you pay for the program?
Wow. Okay. It's a really hard question because in my head, there's two answers. There's one that I probably would have paid, and then there's what it's worth. So I would say what it's worth is got to be huge, right? Because I never would have built this without it. What I would pay is probably double. Does that make sense? So like I still, if you, so I, are we mentioning exact figures?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think I paid just over £3,000 for the course. Can't remember exactly. It was between three and four.
It was four
Um,
US.
right, okay. So I would say I'd pay at least six now, but it's probably worth a lot more than that. So maybe 10, don't know. But if you got me on a call from the start and said to me 10, I never would have paid 10. So it's a really hard question to answer. Even if you showed me this testimonial, I never would have paid you 10 grand. So it's a really hard question to answer, right? But I would say it's definitely worth it. I would pay double if I knew this.
Cool. So, I mean, I think cost was a hesitation um
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
back. What kind of moved you through that hesitation? Why did you decide to go for it?
So I think I knew before I got on the call with you that I needed help and that I wanted to go with you. I'd just not done anything like this before. I had no benchmark of what that price would be. Actually, tell a lie, I did work with that other coach previously. He was okay, but much cheaper and for good reason, I would say. So yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't know what you were going to say the price was, and I think that was the only hesitation was then having nothing to benchmark it on, also having no money, being broke, and it was at the beginning of the year, just after Christmas. I'd finished maternity leave. I didn't even get proper maternity pay, so we weren't in an amazing financial position. I didn't just have money sitting in my bank account that I could be like, okay, yeah, I know it's a lot, but go on. Um, so I think it was less when you dropped the price, it was just me. I had to think about that and I had to find the money. Do you see what I mean? It wasn't necessarily a hesitation to paying. It was more the fact that, okay, that's the price. I know I want to do it, but now I'm going to have to work out how to pay for it. Um, yeah, I don't think I would have got on the call if I'd known the price, but then how wrong would that have been? So, um, yeah, no, it was 100% worth it and more. But don't ask me for the extra 3K.
You can pay double now.
You now own me.
Okay. Were there any other hesitations other than the investment?
Yeah, definitely. I think social media is so overwhelming, isn't it? So you've got so many coaches out there, like, I can teach you this, I can teach you that, I can teach you this. And when you start searching it, it's all that comes up on your algorithm, right? Is everything. So for me, my other hesitation was I'm spending this money. How do I know I've chosen the right person? Um, to spend this money on. That was my other hesitation. And I think I remember saying to you at the end of the sales call, it was the first one or the second, it was one of them. So I think we had two, right?
Yeah.
To pay. And actually I think that was so I know there's a lot of sales strategies out there, but that was I think the right move because if you'd said to me on the first call, you need to pay now, I would have been like, no, no, and I would have shut it off. Um, so actually just having that, because I didn't have the money on me then to pay, but I managed to get it 24 hours later. So, you know, um, I think just the overwhelming amount of people out there, but ultimately your strategy was to be authentic, to look like a real human being, and to reach out to me, um, which is in turn what I've done for my sales strategy, and definitely what worked. So I figured, well, you know, that's what made you stand out amongst the sea of coaches out there. And then in addition to that, the YouTube for Joe, the right tutor, because she had started working with you, and that was someone who I had started talking to on Instagram, telling her I loved her page. And then I said like how good it looked, and she told me she'd started working with you maybe, or maybe you sent me the testimonial, I think. Um, so then seeing that testimonial and being able to link it to somebody who I'd actually spoken to on Instagram and knew their account and watched their stuff was really useful, because I knew that actually this was a real life person that this could work for. This wasn't just some like ad that I couldn't relate to.
Yeah, that that social proof element is huge.
Mm,
I think I also heard in there that you felt aligned with the sales process from the beginning. Like it felt like
yeah,
something you could do.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Any other hesitations?
No, I don't think so. I didn't really know what I was doing. Sorry. That doesn't sound great. I just and you did that I think that is just a testament to the fact that your sales process worked, because I knew I needed someone and I just didn't know what or who. And then you were like, you need me because of this. So that's why it worked.
Cool. And I mean, I think that's really relatable too, because a lot of teachers have never even thought about operating this way before. So that whole idea of like, I don't know what I don't know, I don't even know how to pick, um, is extremely relatable.
Yeah, and I actually think choosing a coach now would be harder than choosing one then, because I didn't really have any preconceived ideas, whereas now I'd probably know more what I was going for. If that makes sense. But in a way, it was useful that I didn't bring anything to the table, because it meant I just listened to everything that you had to say.
Yeah. Okay, so if somebody were considering joining my program, what would you tell them?
I'd say yes. Yeah, I get loads of people messaging me from our YouTubes, and when I'm like DM them and say like thanks for following, they're always like, oh yeah, okay, I've seen you on Carly's YouTube. Do you mind me asking what it's like working with Carly? And I always say, yeah, great, really good. What I find hard to answer is when people say, ask me specific questions. Like a few people have said to me, how long did it take you before you saw results? Um, and that's just a really hard question to answer, because my business and their business could be completely two different things. And me and I'm a very different person to them. We're different people. Also, it was a long time ago. So what I classed as results and what they classed as results might be two different things. So I find quite questions like that, they're quite hard to answer. So I've gone all blurry, I don't know why. But I always say, yeah, like go for it, definitely.
Other than go for it, any like words of advice or warning or wisdom that you'd share with somebody who's just starting out?
Um, there's so much. I'm just trying to think of what one like useful thing could be. So I think number one, you need an ad. You need an ad, a paid ad. That would just be it. If I had to tell anyone one thing, that would be it. Um, Number two, you need someone to help you through the process. Um, if you've not done it before, I didn't even know what a sales funnel was, so if you've not done it before, stop faffing around and get someone to help you with it, because you're not, I don't think you're going to be able to work it out yourself. I could be completely wrong, but unless you are willing to dedicate, I don't know, full time to researching different sales funnels and invest a lot of money in getting it wrong, which most teachers can't, I don't see why you wouldn't invest getting somebody to help you, because you're going to make that money back and you're going to get results much sooner. And it just saves so much time. There's so much guessing, like, well, I could do this, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I could do that. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Just having someone to say you do this and do this and do this is just so helpful. Um, and then just give it a go. I know I've just said that 5 times, but people worry, don't they, about like, oh, I've not got this right, or I've not got that shot right, or I haven't finished this T's and C's document. I just think you just have to, you can't finalize all the details until you start working your business. When your business isn't up and running, it's almost impossible to do any of those things. You have to do it as you go in the moment. And that's what I definitely learned. And in a way, it's sort of like a double-edged sword, because then when you start doing it and you're really busy, you're like, oh, I wish I'd done all of this stuff before. So I had it there sitting ready to go. But you can't work out that stuff until you're actually doing it. You can't work out what you want it to look like.
Yeah, that's like so important because everybody wants to get it right the first time. And it's like, it's just not going to happen like that. Like, you
Mhm.
cannot stay in your imagination and get it right. You have to make mistakes as fast as possible, and that's how you figure it out. I love the idea of like, you know, you're not going to figure it out yourself because I never did. Like, I tried. I ran a writing group for 4 years with 3 kids in it. And I was like, I'll just keep running it. I'll just keep posting about it. Somebody else has got to join sometime, right?
No,
No,
exactly.
no, I
And
stayed with
actually,
my 3 kids for four
I
years.
think that's testament to you. I'm the most impatient person. So like a week in, I didn't have students. I was like, what's going on? Why isn't this working?
Yeah, you're definitely like my best success story. I am my best horror story because I
Oh,
tried to do it myself for so long and stayed so stuck.
yeah. And I think actually, if there's anyone out there who's similar to me, what you said to me earlier, before we started recording the call, was that I like feedback, and I do like feedback. You're right. I like someone saying to me, like, you're doing the right thing. And I think most people do, right? Like, well done. Good job. This is going well. And actually, when your business starts going well, you're getting constant feedback, because you're getting feedback from customers, but you're also getting feedback from Instagram. Because it's like, oh, you've got this many views, you've got this many, this is your ROAS. You're getting all of this like ding 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 ding, and actually, I then thrive off of that, which I think most people do thrive off of a carrot rather than a stick. So
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I want to ask a question to piggyback off that. In terms of like appreciation, compare just like your mindset of, classroom teacher versus business owner.
Oh wow, like those days are gone. I'm never going back. This is the dream. I absolutely love it, and yeah, just it's very rare you don't you it's very rare with what we're doing at what I'm doing at the moment. I don't get somebody who appreciates it. So a parent, customer, tutor, um, if they don't, I don't know about it. So actually, I don't, it's really hard to even put it into words. If you're in a school at the moment, you'll know that just intense scrutiny that you are under continuously. And actually, I said to my husband today, basically, we sat down, we had lunch together, and I said, "Oh, I've just really messed something up. Like, I was really angry with myself for doing it. Basically, I'd got a sales call time half an hour out, and somebody had been sitting on the sales call waiting for me, um, and it was completely my fault. but also a complete accident. It wasn't like I'd been lazy or negligent. I'd not done it on purpose. It was just a complete accident. And I just said to my husband, this like sums up running your own business perfectly because um, the perk of being employed by somebody is that actually, yeah, I've missed the sales call, but I've not missed out on any income because from that sales call, because ultimately I'm still going to get paid at the end of the month if I'm working in a school. But the pro is I have not got somebody now whose eyes are boring into me. Like, why did you miss that sales call when you're already angry enough with yourself for not doing it? You know you messed up and it was an accident, but you're only accountable to yourself. And I absolutely love that. Don't ever want to go back.
So fun. I have a clip of you from February saying, "Yeah, I might go back one day. I love it."
Yeah,
Just gonna
no.
put these,
No.
put these two right beside each other and be like, "Yeah, 11
Yeah.
months later."
Yeah. No, never. Maybe I would go back to working with schools, but I would only ever do it working for myself.
Yeah.
I think I've probably said everything that I want to say. Work with Carly, she's great. Um, I think, yeah, I tell you what, I was thinking about today, reflecting on like working with you and your program and stuff like that, because I was thinking about my own group offer. So I was trying to like relate something in my head. And the one thing that you're really good at is telling people what works without giving them extra work, which is how I roll. Don't like making extra work for myself. Like, whereas some people love a worksheet or like a tick box or like well, let's make a grid for that and do that. Like, I just feel like you know, you, you just tell people what they need to do without all the bumps that you might have to do. Does that make sense? Like um no, don't say it. I wouldn't do that. It's not going to work. Or don't say it like that. Say it like this. Or, but why are you doing it like that? Like, you'll question things, which is what a coach is meant to be good at. Um, but, it's not like sit down and fill in 100 worksheets. It's like what is going to be actionable for your business right now.
Yes. My mom, growing up, my mom always said the phrase quickly and efficiently, like for everything that we were doing.
Yeah, I
She's
love that.
quickly and efficiently. And yeah, apparently it sunk in because that's that's my MO.
Yeah, and that's great. That's perfect for me because I'm also that person.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.